The Galactic Academy's orientation hall buzzed with the nervous energy of 200 cadets from 47 different species. Instructor Vorilan stood at the podium, her crystalline exoskeleton catching the overhead lights and scattering them into rainbow fragments across the walls. She had conducted this exercise for 3 centuries and the routine never changed. The puzzle box sat in her primary manipulator, its surfaces gleaming with the soft blue glow of active circuitry. "Welcome to advanced problem solving," Vorilan announced, her translator rendering her chittering speech into standard galactic. "This exercise will determine your spatial reasoning capabilities and your aptitude for complex thought under pressure." The cadets leaned forward in their seats. Some had 4 eyes to watch with. Others had sensory pits that tasted the electromagnetic fields in the room. At the back, Cadet Marcus Hale sat with his standard-issue datapad, looking remarkably unremarkable among the exotic assembly. Humans were still a novelty in the Academy, their species having only achieved faster-than-light travel 2 generations ago. Vorilan held up the puzzle box. This device contains 7 interlocking mechanisms. The average completion time across all species is 43 minutes. The record is held by a thinker-cast Arachnus who completed it in 19 minutes. She paused for effect. "You will each receive 1 box. You may begin when you return to your seat." The distribution began. Hovering drones carried the boxes down the aisles, depositing them onto each cadet's desk with mechanical precision. Vorilan watched with satisfaction as the familiar scene unfolded. The Vroth cadets immediately began scanning their boxes with secondary visual organs. The Keltharian twins started coordinating their approach through telepathic link. A Graven cadet extended 3 of its 7 arms to manipulate the box from multiple angles simultaneously. The drone reached Marcus Hale's row. It lowered the puzzle box into his waiting hands. What happened next would be discussed in Academy halls for years to come. Marcus took the box, turned it over once, twice. His fingers moved across its surface with surprising confidence. There was a soft click, then another. His thumbs pressed 2 panels simultaneously, while his index finger slid a 3rd mechanism sideways. The box began to unfold. He was still standing in the aisle. By the time Marcus reached his seat, the puzzle box lay open in his palms, its 7 mechanisms disengaged, its core crystal pulsing with the green light that indicated completion. 11 seconds had elapsed. The hall fell silent. Even the Keltharian twins broke their telepathic link to stare. Vorilan's mandibles hung open in a way that would have been undignified if she'd had the presence of mind to care. "That's impossible," she whispered, her translator barely catching the words. Marcus looked up, seemingly confused by the attention. "Sir, I mean instructor? Did I do something wrong?" Vorilan's legs carried her down the aisle on autopilot. She'd given this test to thousands of cadets. She'd seen brilliant minds struggle with it. She'd watched species with cognitive abilities far beyond human norms take 20, 30, 40 minutes to unlock all 7 mechanisms. The box was designed by the architects themselves, calibrated to test the very limits of problem-solving ability. "How did you do that?" Vorilan demanded, stopping in front of Marcus's desk. The human had the audacity to look embarrassed. "I just looked at it. The mechanisms are color-coded, and the weight distribution suggested that the blue panel needed to move first to release the internal lock. Then it was just a matter of color-coded?" Vorilan's voice rose an octave. "There are no colors. The box is uniform gray," Marcus blinked. "No, instructor. There are definitely colors. See, this section is slightly more blue-gray, and this one has a green tint and the weight distribution. You can feel how the left side is heavier by maybe 40 grams. Which means—" "Stop!" Vorilan held up a manipulator. Her mind was racing. Color variations invisible to most species. Weight discrimination at the gram level. Pattern recognition that treated 7 interlocking mechanisms as a single unified system. You solved this through tactile and visual input alone? "Well, yeah." Marcus shifted uncomfortably. "Isn't that the point?" It was Cadet Jirkal, a Vroth with 6 doctoral degrees who spoke up from 3 rows ahead. "Human, my species can see in 17 different wavelengths. I detect no color variation in that box. My people can sense gravity wells and mass distribution at the molecular level," added a Graven cadet. "That box's weight is uniform." Marcus looked down at the open puzzle box in his hands, then back up at the assembly of alien geniuses staring at him. "Oh," he said quietly, "I guess humans just see things differently. Voralin felt something she hadn't experienced in 3 centuries of teaching. The thrill of discovery. The realization that everything she thought she knew about cognitive testing might need revision. Earth was a death world, she knew. Humans had evolved under conditions that would kill most civilized species within hours. They'd climbed to the top of their food chain despite having no natural weapons, no armor, no venom. They'd done it with pattern recognition, persistence, and the ability to see connections that others missed. She'd read the reports, of course, but reading was different from witnessing. "Class," Voralin announced, her voice steady despite her racing thoughts. "I believe we need to recalibrate this exercise. Cadet Hale has just demonstrated that our assumptions about universal problem-solving standards may be inadequate." Marcus raised his hand tentatively. "Does this mean I passed?" Despite herself, despite 3 centuries of maintaining professional dignity, Voralin's mandibles clicked in what humans would have recognized as laughter. "Cadet Hale, I believe you've done considerably more than pass. You've just taught the Galactic Academy something we should have learned long ago." "What's that, Instructor?" "That humanity's greatest weapon isn't your stubbornness or your endurance, though both are formidable." Voralin looked around the hall at the assembled species, each one brilliant in their own way, each one still struggling with their unopened puzzle boxes. "It's that you see a universe the rest of us are blind to. You find patterns in chaos, solutions in impossibility, and paths forward where we see only walls." She picked up Marcus's solved puzzle box, its crystal core still glowing green. "Welcome to the Galactic Academy, Cadet Hale. Something tells me you're going to make our lives very interesting." As the class resumed and the other cadets returned to their puzzles with renewed determination, Marcus Hale sat at his desk and wondered what all the fuss was about. To him, the solution had been obvious. The box had practically opened itself. That, Voralin realized as she returned to her podium, was exactly the point. To humans, the impossible was just another Tuesday, and the galaxy was about to learn what that really meant.